Welcome back to my little kitchen, and today I'm going to make some southern cornbread. This would be my mom's recipe and my granny's recipe, and I've had to change it a little bit and make it gluten-free. But it's cornbread dressing, and I wanted to show you the cornmeal my mother used. If you can see that on my phone, it is the Martha White self-rising cornmeal. And so that made it easy to make, and her cornbread was always so delicious. But today I'm going to be using, I found this Goya, and I bought it because it was the fine yellow cornmeal. So it's ground really fine, which I think will make it better. And so in my bowl, I have 2 cups of that cornmeal, and I have a teaspoon of baking soda and half of a teaspoon of baking powder, because that self-rising cornmeal comes with that in it already. I have a dash of nature seasoning, a dash of salt, and pepper. And I'm also going to add 3/4 of a cup of gluten-free flour, and this is mostly the cup for cup, a little bit of the King Arthur's because that's what I had. And it calls for an egg. We're going to get that in the bowl. I have my cast iron skillet heating up in a 400-degree oven, and we're just going to pull that out here. You want your cornbread to go into a hot skillet so it gets a nice brown on it. So we're just going to start adding milk. I don't know if it was 3/4 of a cup. The recipe calls for buttermilk, which of course I don't have. So I'm going to add just a dash of the apple cider vinegar to it. Maybe just a capful. Okay. And we're just going to get that mixed in really well. Just pulled my skillet out, and I put a tablespoon of butter. That happens to be salted butter. And this would be my batter. You can kind of see the consistency there. And we're going to get this in the hot skillet. And it really should be sizzling a little more. I probably should have just spread it out. And then we're going to get it back in the oven, I believe, for maybe about, let's say 20 minutes, and we'll check it. So there's my cornbread, fresh out of the oven. It's looking pretty good. And this is what I'm gonna, this pan I'm gonna mix my my dressing in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get it into that pan. I think it will come out fairly easy here. There we go. Oh, there's a nice crunch on the bottom there, so that looks delicious. I'm going to move this pan out of the way, and I'm going to saute my vegetables here. So in my skillet, I've got a whole stick of butter, and you want to cook your vegetables first. And I have a head of celery, and you want to use those leaves. Those have a lot of flavor in them. And then we use green onions, not regular onions, in our dressing. So I have, as you can see here, the green onions being in there too. Probably about 2 bundles of those. And we're just gonna saute our veggies here. And I have a little more celery over here with some of the heart there, the leaves. And you're gonna get that in there. And of course, all that'll cook down quite a bit. Thought I would try the cornbread. I think that might be the best looking gluten-free cornbread I've made, so I put a little pat of butter on there. It is really good. It's moist. And we're still sauteing our vegetables here. Okay, so I have my cornbread all kind of broken up here. And I've got my vegetables all cooked down. And we're just gonna get those in the pot here. Yeah, that's still pretty hot. Cast iron skillets are heavy. That's the only thing with cooking with them, is they are heavy. All that goodness in there. Still a little hot. And then I'm just gonna take a little chicken stock in my pan here just to get all of that goodness out of there. It's gonna cool down a little bit. So we've got the celery and green onions incorporated a little bit here, and my mom always added a pack of stove top for seasoning. So of course I can't use stove top because we're gluten-free, but I was lucky to find this at Aldi's this time. Last year they didn't have it, and my dressing was still pretty good. But we're going to go ahead and add a pack of the Live G-free gluten-free stuffing mix, and that'll, I think, just give it some nice flavor. Breadcrumbs, the stuffing mix, and of course we're going to use some nature seasoning here. We're going to season it up a little bit, and then we will taste it for more later. And we use quite a bit of this. This is a lot of cornbread and a lot of celery and green onions to season. We're going to use a little bit of garlic powder, and not as much of that because we do have some garlic in our nature seasoning. I'm also going to use a little bit of onion powder here. Well, gotta open it up. There we go. And I'm going to use a little thyme leaves here. My mom really never put sage in her dressing. She didn't like it, I don't guess. So right now I'm just going to use this and get that mixed up well. My granny and my mom's recipe, no raw eggs go in, but 8 hard-boiled eggs. And it is just delicious, I tell you what. So I'm going to get that last hard-boiled egg in and give it a good mix. And then really I'll just be waiting for my turkey that's in the oven, because I'm going to use some of that good old stock in that turkey, good old broth in that for the rest of my, I really need a new one of these, my dressing here. And it'll be ready. Just kind of, we'll let the family taste test it and see if it needs some more seasoning. I'm going to find a little poultry seasoning to go in that. I know I have some of that somewhere. A little poultry seasoning, and if I have a little sage, I might put a little bit in that. Pour some of my turkey broth into my dressing here. And hopefully not make a big mess. Take a spoon there and help me, Gil. Hold my turkey. No, out. Clean one. Okay, that was maybe like a cup. Back in here, I guess. We're gonna mix that all in, and then we'll put it in the oven for about 30 40 minutes and it'll be all done. Here's my finished dressing. And then we have sweet potato casserole, or macaroni and cheese, and some corn, and my turkey here. And then we have the collard greens. So those are the dressing, the sweet potato casserole, the collards, and the macaroni and cheese. You can all find those recipes on my channel. And I'm just going to give the dressing a try here. It's very good. I did add extra nature seasoning and more garlic, and you just season it to taste. And I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you had a wonderful day, and thank you for watching. Bye bye now.